Good morning, everybody. Jack Leeson with StartupTrader.com. It is 9:11 in the morning on the 24th of April, and a lot to go over. I know I wasn't really my trading was done by the morning yesterday, but so I want to go over like a lot of what had happened on the prior day. Let me go to the hourly time frame. In the NQ. So there is this extension from the end of the day. So let me just do something real quick. There we go. There is an extension from the end of the day on Monday that traded on Tuesday. It completed its negative 100 basically at the open, and we faded from those targets. It's very rare that we're just going to go straight up through a negative 100 without some type of pullback. In fact, it like basically does not happen. Then we had the extension from what was Tuesday's high to high that traded in the overnight. That's actually what I got long, and then ran it all the way into the open. That same anchor new high traded and held all the way into close, where we finally broke down. Now, interesting enough, we are opening basically right at that level, and I am still anticipating we actually get down and do a little more consolidation here. Monday's high, too high. We're gonna have two levels that are gonna be very important for me here today. I'm gonna get rid of this 38 so we're not confused. That's from a 38 of a short, but the one level here. I'm actually going to start showing my coefficients on the left to show price. I wish I could show it on both. I guess I can't. We're going to go on the left here. A little easier to see, I think. 18,702 is going to be that 38% retracement, and that's going to be the first level I'm going to look long. You also have an hourly fair value gap there, this blue box. That's going to be where I'm first going to anticipate longs. Now, if we are leaking lower below the overnight low, which absolutely is a possibility here today, we're going to want to pay attention to 18,558 here, then below that. Those are really my two hot spots for the day. And then also yesterday, we had a 50% retracement short, which acted as resistance and completed in the overnight session. Once we completed that short, that's where our bottom was basically found. We went through the prior day's low, swept some stops, liquidity sweep, back up to highs, and then you're going to have, I'm not quite ready to draw a full halfway back short to the overnight low, but let's see where it is, just in case it lines up with anything else. You're going to have that midpoint as well above that level. So anything above the mid off the open, I'm going to be a little cautious. I would not chase anything long up above the mid at this point in time. I kind of have a bullish bias, but not super bullish, like bullish neutral bias here today. So that's why I'm looking for longs below the low here, and then below the midpoint, the lower mid. So any lows below the lower mid, which would include the two support levels I've mentioned, 18,558 and 18,702, are where I'm going to want to look here today. And that's really what I have for the NQ. To keep it simple, we may eventually come in all the way down to that full halfway back long, and that would, get us back into the ranges of Tuesday. So I'm going to do a couple things here. Move up my premium level. I'm going to move up my premium level to here. I don't want to take any longs above that level right now. And then I'm going to move up my discount zone today to that 38. I think I need to get a new computer. That 38. So everything between these two zones, shorts, I'll be only looking for shorts above the red and only looking for longs below the green. I can come up with a reassessment after lunch, but for the first part of the morning, that's going to be my anticipation. And then moving on to the ES, basically the same thing. These markets are pretty much in sync with their technicals. You had that. The only thing that was different is the ES. It was, I guess you could consider it a front run, but the ES, the extension from the end of day Monday to high, that 38, basically traded in a front run at close. We rallied all the way back to the top of the range and then fell. What is the overnight low? It is the completion of the short target in the S&P 500. Everything above that midpoint here today, I'm going to be a little cautious chasing longs. So I'm going to move up my premium level there, and then my discount is going to be same thing as it is in the NASDAQ. Now, the ES, I believe, is closer to its 38 right now than the NASDAQ is, but that level is going to be a 53.85, a 53, actually, sorry, it's a 53.82. Hide this real quick. So I'm looking to go long, but I want to go long below 50. I want to go long basically below 53.85. So if we open and we continue up higher, I'm going to be sitting on my hands here this morning for the indexes, kind of waiting for my setups, because we're kind of opening in no man's land for me here. But that 53.83 to 53.82 is just going to be that 38 of that higher time frame extension, which I'm hoping we get a test here. We technically were front run, like I said, at the end of the day, and then the 50% is going to be a 53.46, a 53.46. I'm going to move this, and then you guys, if you remember yesterday, we went right up to that morning trade plan resistance level, basically, to the tick. That's that full halfway back short that continues to be sold into. And just to back it out on this higher time frame here, this full halfway back short, it's still in play. It could possibly, if we never break above that 61, we could complete. I don't want to put anybody thinking that we're going to dive, a thousand points here, but that's still in play for now. The upside, there is also a long that's in play, and that's going to be the battle here over the next month. If we complete this long, which is going to be at 5,700 roughly, or if we end up breaking it. But as we go into the day, I'm really looking to trade back down to, if we could come into the high of the 22nd at some point in time, I think that's going to be the trigger to move higher. So I'm pretty neutral with a bullish bias as we go into the day, and that's what I have here for these. Let me see if there's anything I really want to pay attention to other places. Not right now, but yeah. So I will share these levels with you guys in the room, and we'll go about and see if we can get down to any of those support levels, those 38s. Those are probably going to be my first trade here off the open. So everybody have a great day, and I'll talk to you guys in the room.